Please give a massive, massive round of applause, Joanne. Joanne, welcome to the stage.
Time. I bet we've all experienced time moving differently before, whether it drags on when you're bored or flies by when you're having fun. But is time something you simply experience, or is it something you can change? What if time is more than just a feeling? What if you can manipulate how you experience it in ways we've never imagined? Well, what if I told you that the way we experience time isn't just in our heads? It's actually influenced by our brain, emotions, and even physics. So today, I'm going to be exploring to see if we can physically change our interpretation of time. Time is an illusion. Okay, maybe not fully, but our clock still ticks and our days still pass. But what if I told you that the way we experience time isn't the same for everyone? The truth is, our brain has its own internal clock. It's a complex network of brain structures that controls how we perceive time. It's controlled by factors such as our emotions, memories, and even sensory input. However, this clock isn't as precise or constant as you might think. In fact, it's a lot more flexible than you might realize. So, how does it work? When we're focused, our brain processes more information, making time seem to move faster. But when we're bored or unfocused, our brain slows down, making time feel like it's stretching. This shows us that time is something we experience differently depending on what's happening in our brain and our surroundings. But here's the twist. This clock isn't fixed. Time doesn't just depend on what you focus on, it can actually be controlled. What if I told you that you could hack your internal clock? And no, I'm not just talking about focusing more or meditating, but what if by manipulating your surroundings or physical states, you could stretch or compress time without changing what you're doing? Scientists have discovered that time feels different depending on how you perceive your surroundings. For example, in high-stress situations, your brain speeds up, making time feel like it's stretching, allowing you to react faster. Interestingly, researchers have found out that intense, thrilling experiences can reenact these moments to create a similar effect. These moments can make us force our brain to process information faster and artificially stretch time without causing actual danger. But it doesn't just end there. Did you know that your heart rate also influences time? When your heart rate increases, time stretches. Conversely, a slower heart rate makes time seem to be moving faster. Even memory can alter your sense of time. Events recalled in vivid memory seem to take much longer than they actually were, showing us that our brain rewrites our perception of time based on the depth of our memories. So, what does this mean for us? If we can shape our experience of time based on our emotions, memories, or even physical states, then time isn't a fixed concept as we once thought. It's something we can influence and control. And by knowing how our minds and bodies perceive time, we can make more intentional choices about how we use it. So, what will you do with your time today? Will you let it slip away? Or will you take control? Thank you.
Wonderful, Joanne. Thank you so much. I wish we could stretch time out so we could have longer of you, but we can't. We need to go to our judges for our questions. Let me go to John. John, any questions?
Yeah, fantastic talk. I really loved it. And so I'm curious about, so a lot of the topics when it comes to time, often it gets very philosophical and trying to work it out, but you did use a lot of research-based answers there. So where did you find a lot of this research?
Well, I did actually start off researching at Wikipedia, but I realized it's not all the truth because a lot of people could have written many facts on there. So I found a website which included Einstein's theory article on time, relativity, and dilation. So I used a lot of facts from there, and I researched much more depth in that.
Wonderful, wonderful. Matt, could I come to you for another question, please?
Yes, you can. Great presentation, thank you. I was just wondering why you entered the FameLab competition.
So, it's not just because it was compulsory in my school, but, but I remember last year sitting in the Year 8 audience, because in our school you have to perform to Year 8s and 9s. I remember sitting in that audience and watching many Year 9s performing, and I knew that's what I was going to look forward to when I started Year 9, and I would love to improve my public speaking and my science.
Great answer, thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you very, very much. We didn't force her to be here. She wanted to be here.